Hello, welcome to another Learn Scratch tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a simple moving ball platformer. So let me show you how it works. Here we have a ball and we can press the left and right arrows, we can move him around the screen, and he can also jump, which is good, so we've got some gravity on there, and we go from level to level. Let's have a look, and each time he gets to the blue square he moves on to the next level, or not if I can't do it right. There we go. And we can also have a system where we've got some lives, so that each time if you land, let's say you land in the red lava of doom, then you lose a life instead, as you can see there. And if you have lose all your lives, you go to a game over screen and you start a game. Okay, so let's get started. Let's open up Scratch. There we are. And let's create a new project. And let's call this, I'm going to do mine in night time, so let's call it the night platformer game. Night platformer game. In fact, let's call it Night Ball, just because it sounds really cool. So, let's get rid of Scratch, goodbye Scratch, and let's go to the backdrop, and let's change our backdrop to a night colour. I'm going to choose black for mine, but you can do whatever colour you want. And let's add our first platform along the bottom. Now, I wouldn't use white for this one. I tried using white in the previous version, and every time you got to the edge, because the edge of the screen up here was white, it interfered with the game. Bit of a Scratch glitch. So use a different, oops, let's not do that. Use a different colour to white. Let's use the box, and let's do a whole box. So I've done a slightly off, like a nice pink sort of colour. And let's do our first floor, our first platform on the bottom, which will form the start of our first level. There we go. So there's the bottom of our platform, and once that's done, let's go create ourselves a new sprite and click on the ball, because we're going to do a ball, a circle shape. Now, let's have a look. Actually, you notice that there it says, if it says shift circle, what that means is that if you're like me and you're not very good at drawing circles, then you'll find that it actually draws all kind of wonky circles like that, and ellipse, which is not much use to us. Let's just undo that. Undo, let's get rid of that dot. So what it's saying there is if you hold the shift key when you're drawing a circle, it will make it perfectly round. Brilliant. So we've got our platform and we've got our ball for our first part of our game. Now, what we want to do now is we're going to get it so that it moves. Let's do left and right first of all, left and right. So how do we do that? Well, we need a when start clicked. And what we're going to do is we left and right. In order to make gravity work, we need to treat left and right, up and down different, and we need to choose different, what are known as x velocity and a y velocity. So our x velocity is going to control how fast we go left and right, and our y velocity is going to control how fast we go up and down. X velocity, if it's plus numbers, then it'll be moving to the right hand side, and if it's negative numbers, it'll be moving to the left hand side. So, how do we do that? Well, it's nice and simple. We do when start clicked. We need a forever loop because we need to keep checking forever what we're doing, and we say if, there we go, if the right arrow is pressed, there we go. If the right arrow is pressed, we set our x velocity. So let's create a variable, call it x velocity. Velocity, there we go, x velocity. Velocity means speed in a particular direction. So we're just doing the x velocity, it's the x speed across. X velocity, good stuff. And if the right arrow is pressed, we go right. We need to set the x velocity to 8. And then we'll duplicate that little bit there. If the left arrow is pressed, then we set the x velocity to -8, which is perfect. Good stuff. And that's alright, good stuff. And all we have to do is we move or change our x at the end of it. Change our x by whatever our x velocity is. There we go. So hopefully now if we press start, oh, actually, we better set the x velocity to 0 at the start of the game as well. That's always useful. So there we go. It's just moving down to the bottom. And now, if we press right, it goes right. If we press left, it goes left. Now, I'm just tapping it once here, and because we've set it to that amount, it just keeps on going. You might want your platformer to do that, but I don't want mine to do that. If I let go, I want it to slowly slow down and then stop. So how do we do that? Well, we just add a bit of air resistance or friction, and what we do is we say, okay, each time round through the loop, we'll set the x velocity to the whatever x velocity it is, divided by 2. So it halves each time, x velocity divided by 2. There we go. Set the x velocity to its x velocity divided by 2. And now, there we go, if I let go, it slowly stops, which is good. If you don't want it to stop so quickly, then you can just set it to x divided by 1.5 or something. That'll probably work. Let's have a look. There you go, so that slows a little bit slower. Again, just play around with that figure, get that number to how exactly you want it. Good. Perfect. Brilliant, that's okay, good. And let's add another platform, which is all very good. Let's add another rectangle shape, and let's do one here. Oops. There we go. Let's put that in the middle. There we are, that's fine. So now, let's have a look. Here we go. And that's our first problem. Here we go. When we're moving across, when it hits something, when it hits the pink thing, it just keeps on going. Now we don't want it to be able to go through the pink thing, because we want it to be able to block him. So we need to stop him from moving whenever he's touching pink. So how do we do that? Well, quite simple. We just say if we are touching pink, if we are touching colour pink, let's click on there. All we do is we move him back by the same amount he's just moved across. And the easiest way to do that is to change our x coordinate by the opposite of what the velocity is, which is okay. So change the x coordinate by, and the way we do that cheeky little easy thing is we do 0 minus the x velocity, and that'll get the opposite. So change the colour 0 minus the x velocity, which is good, and then we'll set the x velocity to 0. So if it hits a wall, he'll move back because he'll already be in the wall, and then we'll set his x velocity to 0 to stop him. So hopefully now, let's have a look. Oh, he keeps on going a little bit. We can fix that in a minute, which is all very good. Let's have a look. Is that because of that? Maybe. Let's try that. Oh, it's still going, isn't it? Let's just check that's right. Change was to 0 minus x velocity, which would change x by that. There we go. Maybe it's because those two are the other way around. Is that? Let's have a look. Maybe do it that way around. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? There we go. So he moves across and then he stops. Perfect. Okay. So now we've done the x-axis and the x velocity. Let's move on to the y velocity. Here we go. So when start pressed, here we go. Let's create a new one. Let's call it, make a variable, call it y velocity. Y velocity, good stuff. And at the start of the game, our y velocity, our up and down speed is 0. Good stuff. And we'll also start him here as well. Let's move him over to there to start the game. Or should we start him here? Let's start him there. There we go. So to get to start the game in a particular place, we use the go to. And the easiest way to do it, if you look at the go to here, as I actually move him, you'll notice that the go-to position actually changes to the sprite's current position. Those values are constantly changing. So all I have to do is take him to where I want it to be. The go-to's changed and drag that there, which is good. And the Y, what we're going to do with this is when we press start, we need to apply gravity. And gravity is constantly trying to pull you down until you hit something solid. So what we do there is, the way to achieve that is we change the y velocity by minus 0.5. Y velocity by, change y velocity by minus 0.5. There we go. So there you go, good. So it's constantly trying to pull you down. You can see its y velocity going down, and we change the y each time to do that at the top. change the y to whatever his y velocity is. Y velocity there. So hopefully now at the start of the game, there you go. Press start. He starts to get pulled down by gravity. At the moment he just hits the bottom of the screen, but we're going to change that in a minute. So let's have a look. So there we go. So far we've got him going down. What we need to do now is we need to say, okay, if we're touching the floor, if we're going down and we're touching the floor, then we need to stop. So here we go. So if, there we go, if touching colour pink, there we go, if touching colour pink, if his y velocity is less than 0, i.e. he's going down, if his y velocity is falling, if his y velocity is less than 0, then all we need to do is set his y velocity to 0. Let's have a go with that. So now press it, there you go, and oh, there you go, he stops. There you go. So if he goes down, there we are. If his y velocity is less than 0, he just stops. Perfect. Good. But you'll also notice here that, especially if we do it from the top of here, when he lands, he sort of sinks in a bit into the floor. There you go. And you can see it right into the floor there. Sinks right into the floor a little bit. There's not a lot I can do with that other than to say, you know what, just keep pulling him back up. So let's do that. We'll put that there. There we go. There we are. Actually, so we do it that way around. Will that work? See if that works. Oh, repeat until, let's have a look. Repeat until not touching colour. Repeat until not touching colour. Pink. Repeat until not touching the colour pink. There we go. What we'll do there is repeat until we're not touching the colour pink. Let's just move him back up slightly. Change his y by 2. There we go. Should we do it by 1 or 2? Straight by 1. There you go. Change his y by 1. So now, what happens if he falls? He just gets put back on the actual, gets put back on the platform, which is great. Good. So now he can move left, he can move right, which is all good. Move left and right. That's fine. And he can fall. So now what we need to do is say, okay, he's falling. Good stuff. Now what we want to say is we want to be able to for him to jump. And when we press the space bar, when we jump, well, jumping's easy. All we have to do is when we press space, we set the y velocity to a positive amount, and then he'll start moving up. So let's have a go with that. Here we are. If let's have a look. If we press space, let's have a look. We're going to need an and as well. I'll tell you why in a second. So if we press the space and his y velocity is less than 0. The reason it needs to be less than 0 is because, obviously, if he's already going up, then we don't want him to keep jumping up further and further and further. We only want him to be jumping up if he's just about to come down. So there we go. So if his keypad is pressed, space, and his y velocity is less than 0, so he's going down, then we can jump. Y velocity is less than 0. Where should we put that? Let's put that up. Oops. There we go. Let's put that here. Oh, won't that work? We'll go there. That's going to do all that. In that case, we'll just pull those out. Let's put those below it. Let's put that there. If the keypad's pressed and the y velocity is less than 0, then what we'll do is we will let's have a look. If actually we've got one more thing. Actually, we've got to say is okay if he's touching the colour pink, because we only want him to jump. Just realised now we only want him to jump, of course, if he's touching the ground. If he's here, we don't want to be able to jump up further because he'll be able to go right up there. So if we'll put that there. If touching the colour pink, there we go. Then set the y velocity to 12 because he's going to be going up. Set the y velocity to 12, and we'll give him a bit of a head start by making him move up. Change y by 12. change y by 12. There we go. So now, there we go. There you go. So if I press space while it's in the air, nothing happens. And he's already going up, nothing happens. Good. But if he's coming down, he's landed on the platform, then I can make him jump, which is great. Brilliant. There we go. So, good. That's brilliant. That's the first start of our platform. So we're doing quite well already. We've got a working platform, we've got a guy jumping, and some gravity. So, good stuff. Let's add a few more platforms and let's see what other problems we encounter next. So, there you go. Let's put some platforms above. Let's do another one. Let's do it in pink again. Let's put a platform here. Oh, what's my... No. Pink. There you go. So, oh, that's one. Let's do my platform in pink. Let's do... Oh! Nope. Square. Pink square. Let's do a platform here. Let's do a platform here. I'm sure you can do better platforms than me eventually. I'm just doing these for testing. And let's see what happens. Ah, okay. Now, let's have a look. Watch that again. Let's see what happens. So when he's going up, if he's going up and he hits another platform, he zooms up through. Now, it could be in your game that you want that to happen, but in my game, I don't really want him to start being able to jump up through platforms. Otherwise, it's not a very good platform game. You can just keep flying straight up like that. So what we need to say is, okay, if he's already going up and he hits a platform above, then we need to send him back down a bit. We need to send him down. So let's have a look. So if he's touching the colour pink, if he's going up, so if his y velocity is greater than 0, and that means he's going up, then we need to do the same sort of trick here, where we make him go down. We move him back down the amount he's just come up, maybe make him back a little bit more, and we'll also set his y velocity this time to a negative amount, so he starts going down. So what do? Well, we move, change y by, there we go, change y by 0 minus his y velocity, 0 minus y velocity, the opposite is y velocity, and then we'll move him, so we move him back down, and we'll also set his y velocity to, set it to -5 or something. Let's see if that works. So hopefully now, let's have a go. There you go, that's a bit more like it. Good. So now, when he jumps up and he hits it, he bounces back down, and he sort of stays out of the way. There you go, good. Let's just make sure that works. Seems to be working okay, which is good. Good, there you go. There we go, brilliant, perfect. There we go. Good. So there's the basic mechanics of our platform again. We've got him walking, he jumps into the floor, we've got him moving, and we've got him jumping. You can't go through the ceiling of things, which is good. Brilliant. So now what we want to do is we want to start thinking about doing multiple levels. Well, this bit's nice and easy. What we do first of all is let's create some more levels. So let's create a first screen. Let's put that above that one. That's going to be our start screen. There we go. Let's paint that black. Oops, paint it black. Good stuff. And so the first screen, we'll paint it black. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a pink floor. Is it that pink? I think that's pink, isn't it? There we go. We'll do a pink floor. Good stuff. So when we press start, it stops on the pink floor. Excellent. And we'll give it, let's give it a title. Let's call this Night Ball. Night Ball. Oh, I don't like that. I don't want Helvetica. It's Mystery. There we go. Night Ball. Night Ball Scratch. Night Ball. There we are. Good stuff. Night Ball. And let's call it Scratch Platformer. Platformer. There we go. Sure you can do your own. There you go. And just like before, let's do a nice instruction. Walk right to start. There we go. Just move that over there. Walk right to start. There you go. And let's do. Oh, oops! Just done that purple. No, let's undo that. Done that purple. Oh. Let's try again. Let's put him in white. Walk right to start. Click over there. Thank you. Good. And we'll click off that so it doesn't change the colour. Now what we'll do is we'll click on that one there, and we'll do. Let's do a purple. Do a deep purple for that bit. There you go. So, and all we're going to do, you can use this touching colour, or you can create an invisible sprite that's the same colour as the background if you want to do it that way. At the moment, I'm just going to use a different colour sprite because it's easier to see. So walk right to start. And what do? Well, here we go. This bit's nice and easy. When we start, we set the backdrop to the first backdrop. Let's call this start screen. Start screen. Good stuff. Start screen. Look, switch backdrop to, well, at the start of the game, switch backdrop to start screen. Good stuff. And we have a broadcast. All we have to say is when I receive next level. Good. We're just going to change the backdrop by 1. And we'll just go next backdrop. There you go. So next backdrop. And now we've got that. All we need to do here is say, okay, in one of these two, we'll put it in the X one. Okie doke. If touching, what should we call it? If touching that purple. If touching the colour purple. Oh, I've done that. If touching the colour purple, then all we need to do is we'll go back to the start position, move Scratch back to start, go to there, go back to start, and then we broadcast next level. There we are, brilliant, broadcast next level. So let's have a quick go with that. So hopefully if we touch the colour purple, it will move on to the next level. There you go, brilliant. So that's on level 2, and then we can do the same sort of thing for level 2. All we have to do now is just go onto the stage 2 backdrop and paint it in purple, wherever it is we want the end of the level to be. That'll do for level 2. Let's create another one just to show you. Let's go there. Oh, let's do it in purple. Let's do some more pink platforms. We'll do the pink one at the bottom. There we go. Pink. Oops, that's probably a bit big. Let's do some small pink ones. There we go. Okay, so we've got all that. We've got the third level. And let's put our purple square at the top. There we go. Oops, that's no good. What have I just done? That one. Purple square at the top. Now this level here, what we could do here as well is we can do some kind of let's do a bit of danger here. Let's do some fire in between. Obviously you could spend a lot more time doing sorting your dangers out. It's just an example. So there's a bit of fire in between there, and you've got to get up to the top of level 3. So in order to do that, actually let's just go back here. Let's go to our sprites. There we go. So what we can say here is, okay, you know what? Every time you touch the red bit here, you're going to lose a life, and then you're going to go back to the start of that level. So how do we do that? Well, in order to lose a life, we need some lives. So let's create a new variable and call it lives. And at the start of the game, let's set our lives to, let's say, set it to 5 or something, or 5 or 3. Once, there we go, good stuff, set it to 5. And all we need to do is do a similar thing just like there. So, okay, if touching colour red, if touching colour red, then we go to, get rid of that bit. We don't broadcast the next level because we're not moving on to the next level. We just go back to the start of the level and then change lives by -1. There we go. And now hopefully if we do that there, might not have to go all the way through to level 3. There we are. Let's see if we get to level 3. This is where I'm no good at my own game. There we are, good stuff. There we are. It's only to level 1, it's on to level 2. Okay, so here we go. Level 2, so we're not level 3. And hopefully now, if we jump and hit the red, there you go. We've lost a life, and we go back to the start. You could, of course, do fancier things. You could make him a costume of like a dead ball that sinks down slowly and then goes back to the start. You could do some sound effects. It's like, ugh, and then you go back to the start. It's whatever you want to do. There we go. Let's have a go. Oh, is this level actually possible? Let's find out. Yeah, it is possible. I've just made my game extremely hard. Let's have a look. Good. There we go. And there you go. Oops. Just be careful, because what I've done here is I've done a different colour to a different colour purple. So we need to make sure we're using the same colour all the way through. Don't make that mistake like I did. Use your little eyedropper tool. Click on it. Then go through to the other level. And then make sure it's painted the right colour. There you go. Perfect. So there you go. So we've got that level there. It's got some fire that you go into. Let's do maybe one more level. Let's have a look. Ooh, here we go. Paint new backdrop. I'll just do one more level. Here we go. Let's do it black. There we are. One more level. Where's that just gone? There it is. One more level. Let's do the pink floor. Ooh. Oops, pink everywhere. Let's do a pink floor. So pink, pink, pink. Should make that a little bit higher there, maybe. You'll have to, obviously, for each level here, you've got to experiment. There you go. And what we can do, of course, is add obstacles that spin around. But if it's going to spin around, you only want it spinning or appearing on a particular level. So how do we do that? Well, what we do here is we say, you know what, okay, at the start of the game, let's keep track of what level it is. So let's create a variable called level. Good stuff. And at the start of the game, we set the level to, set it to 0, because then if you set it to 0, then you can have the start screen is 0, so that's 1, that's 2, that's level 3. Kind of works better for you. So then we can say, okay, if we're on level 1, 2, 3, if we're on level 3, then we want a spinning, let's say a spinning sprite to appear, one that spins around like that. Create ourselves a new sprite, and let's make it out of fiery red. Good stuff. There he is, fiery red. And we're going to move him here on that level, and he's going to spin around in circles. So when start clicked, forever. If level is, let's have a look. So when start clicked, we'll hide him, because he's got to hide at the start of the game. And then if our level is level 3, if level equals 3, if the level equals 3, there we go. If the level equals 3, then you should show him. Show. Oh, actually, we're going to need if else, aren't we? Yeah, if else. If the level equals 3, show, else hide. In fact, actually, we could just put that hide in there, can't we? There we are, look. If level equals 3, show, otherwise hide. And then here, we can do the spinniness here. So let's just say turn 15 degrees. Will that work? Let's find out. Oh, the problem we got here, of course, is I haven't told it to change level when we actually change the level. So broadcast next level, and then we'll also change the level by 1. There we go. Change level by 1, broadcast next level. So let's have a look. Let's try that, shall we? There's level 1. Nice and easy. Easy start. I like this actually. It sort of starts easy and gets harder and harder. Good. So there you go. Now we're on to level 2 with static enemy. Let's see if I can get... Oh, already lost the light. Isn't good. There we are. Whee. And we're on to level 3. And now... oh my golly gosh. That's going to be quite hard. So now we're on level 3. Of course, we can change that by 2 degrees, 1 degrees. What I would probably do actually as well is just give it a bit of a weight, because otherwise that's going to be using up a lot of... there we are. In fact, we'll just do show. We'll only do it there. Keep it inside of there, because that way... In fact, we'll put a weight in there as well. Let's have a look. In fact, move that weight here. This way, it reduces the Do 0.1. It reduces the load on the computer because what's happening here is because it waits 0.1 seconds, it will execute that bit and then it will wait a bit and wait a bit and wait a bit. It shouldn't make a problem, maybe be an issue in this particular game, but if you have lots of these sorts of sprites happening, and let's say you have 50 levels and you've got 100 of these sprites spinning, it's going to start to have an effect on it. There you go, 0.1. Let's say change it by 3 degrees or something. 0.05, let's try 0.05, 0.05, there we go. And then we'll do it spin by 2 degrees. There you go. So that's a nice easy one. And that's spinning like that. If we wanted to spin in position, what we need to do is just be careful. Let's set it so that the middle of the sprite is in the middle of that block, and that way it'll spin on itself. So just like that there. Now there you go. So that's more like it. So now we've suddenly got a bit more of a challenging game where you've got to get over that whilst it's spinning. Of course, you're going to want to experiment. You're going to want to make your game easier, harder by adding bits and bats, slow spinning things. In fact, let's add now. Let's just move that there a minute. There we go. Let's add another. Let's add another one of those. Another one of those doors here to show you another idea. Let's use the paint bucket. Let's use that. Let's get hold of that. So we've got that colour. Let's pop a door here. I'm just going to cheat a bit. Pop a door there so that we can move on to the next level. There we go. Just pop it there. Good. So there's our door to the next level. Obviously, you want to spend a bit of time. And then what we'll do, let's have a look. Let's paint another one. Let's paint it black. Oh, where are you going? Black. Thank you. Oh, we're going to have to start all over again anyway now. Oh, no, we're not. Just click it to go there. There you go. Good. It's moving all over the place there. Let's paint that there. Let's go here, paint it black. Let's do pink. Let's put some floor bits on. There we go. So on level 5, let's have a floor bit. And on this level, what we'll do is we'll have it going up to the top or something. If I actually know what we'll do is we'll have an enemy that moves up and down. There you go. So, and then we can do the exit there on the right hand side. So what we'll do now is let's add another sprite. We'll just duplicate this one. There we go. Where's that one at? Let's show that for a minute. Okay, so again with this one, if the level equals 5, good stuff, show. And what we'll do this time round is we'll say, okay, let's have a look. We'll do it slightly different. How should we do this one? So we want it to start moving when the level equals 5. There we are. So good. So with this one, it's a little bit harder because what we'll have to do here is we'll have to leave it to show, and we'll just do a forever. So this one forever, and we'll do a glide. So we need 2 glides. Motion. So here we go. Forever, and we'll glide. Where's he gone? Let's just use a show to show him where we're at. Okay, good. And let's just spin him round as well to the right direction. Obviously, take your time on this. I want him to glide from here to here and then back again. So all we've got to do here is glide there, 1 second, glide there, 1 second, good, there you go. So he's going to glide up and down, but it'll only show on level 5, hopefully. Let's find out, shall we? There we go. This is if we can get to level 5. I don't know if I can, but we'll have a go. So level 1, there's level 1, the nice easy level. There we go, we get to level 2, which is the stationary fire. Oh, I've only got 4 lives left. Oh, there we go. Two lives left. Oh, 2 lives left. Yep, there you go. So we're now to level 3. Let's sort that out later. We're doing that. Let's get over there. Oh, no. Does just ride up to the top there, doesn't it? Here we go. Chop, chop, chop. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm stuck. Let's just cheat and put him there for the moment. It's going to be quite hard. I'll have to create a little a bit on the floor as well so he falls off. Or you could do a red bit. There you go. So now we're on level... Oh, not level 4. My bad. It's level 4, not level 5. Come out of here. Level 4. There you go. So now, there you go. You've got a thing that slides up and down. Maybe do it 2 seconds because that is a little bit crazy. So let's have a look. Got to get up there. And he's got to land on there somehow. Oh! What? Oh! I was wondering what was going on then. That's because I've just typed here. I've just deleted out of the X there. That's why that's gone a bit crazy. I was like, that's a bit mad. Thought he was following then. But you can see how it works, which is great. There you go. Good. That's fine. That's okay. Game over screen. Game over screen. What we're going to do for a game over screen? Let's do the last quick bit, and then we've got. So after all of your screens here, you're going to want 2 screens. Let's add the first one. Your first one is going to be the success screen. Let's paint that in black and just put well done. Text. Do that in black. You have completed the game. Well done. There you go. So that screen there, you completed the game. Well done. That's that one there. Let's just use that bit there. Let's move him over a bit. Move over there a bit. There you go. And we'll paint that bit black again. So the second to last screen is the you have completed the game well done, which will be the one that you got through if you got to here. And then what you do for your very last screen, here we go, backdrop 6. Let's just call it game over. Game over screen. And again, we'll paint that black. Paint it black. Oh, what do we paint it black? Oh, there you go. Paint it black. Click on the text. And then we'll just put game over, loser. Click. Click the flag to try again. There we go. I'm sure you could do a much better job if you take your time, to do a good job of the game. So there's the game over screen, and then to set this game over screen, it's really, really easy. We'll just put it wherever I want. I'll put it on the bottom of this script here. If our lives equals 0, if lives, or in fact we'll just do if lives less than 1. That's probably the easiest way, isn't it? If lives is less than 1, just in case it glitches and goes into minus numbers. If lives is less than 1, if lives is less than 1, change the backdrop, looks, switch to backdrop game over screen, there we go, and end the game, which means we'll just stop all screens, stop all, there we go, and we'll probably want to hide all the sprites as well. We'll leave the ball, but these ones here, what should we do? There we go. In fact, we'll just broadcast game over. That's the easiest way. Broadcast. Let's do a new broadcast. Broadcast game over. And then for each of the sprites, we'll say, okay, when we receive game over, just hide. That's the easiest way. So when I receive game over, let's hide. That'll do for you. That'll do for you. And we'll do it for sprite 1 as well, which is okay. When I receive game over, hide. But of course, that means for sprite 1 also is when we start, we'll have to show. So let's have a look. Level 0, lives 5. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can die. There we go. And let's just, there we go. There's down to 4 lives, 3 lives, 2 lives, 1 life. Game over. Is it? Click the flag to try again. Click the green flag to try again. Okay, there you go. So that's the tutorial all done. Good luck with that. Remember, as always, you can go on learn.co.uk and go to the Scratch unit for my Year 8s, or just follow the link in the YouTube tutorial. And That'll have all of the code there if you get lost or you're struggling. Good luck with your games. Do share them onto the YouTube video if you've done them. It's great to see all the other stuff. And also just check out my other games if you want to have a look. Thank you very much. Bye bye.